That's gonna be a fun swear right there. Oops. A lot of things to talk about this time. I was actually told to speak louder by a friend of mine, so I'm speaking louder, Pete. Um, I had an interesting break. It's still going on, obviously. I don't start school again until the 6th. But I'm back in Pittsburgh tonight. Shouldn't really be here, but I'll get to that in a minute. For me, my break started. Finals week was about a week and a half ago. I did really well. Um, the same thing everybody has for finals week: not sleeping, going hysterical, saying ridiculous things. I'll quote a friend of mine, by saying, "By looking at neuroscience notes, you'll notice that there are a lot of structures that look like human genitalia in the brain." And my poor gay friend just staring at my notes and going, "Oh my god, there's a vagina in my brain." Ended up getting a 4.0 somehow this semester, even though all this shit's been happening. I don't know, I guess it might be part of knowing that I'm doing the right thing for myself no matter what the hell's going on. And that makes me feel a lot better and more confident. And I know a lot of it had to do with the fact that I studied with a bunch of other people around me, and we basically kept each other semi-sane throughout the entire week. And that Thursday, of course, we went to the bar and got obliterated. But it was a really fun night. Then that Friday, I was about to go to a drumline camp, indoor drumline. It was going to be an entire weekend of going to learn the entire show, all the drill. But a call from home that kind of worried me around then, and I was very worried. So I decided that I needed to go home that day to deal with things. And I called the guy in charge of the indoor drumline, and I called my ride and sort of explained to them briefly what was happening. And I was going to tell my parents I'm coming home, and I obviously didn't want them to pick me up, so I needed to figure out a way to get home. Problem was that plane tickets to my hometown were in the neighborhood of $1,000, and I don't really live that far away. It's like 5.5, 6 hours from here by car. So I decided that I would take a train, because I had never taken a train before, and I wanted to see what it was like. And I heard a lot of good stories about train rides being really relaxing and pretty, and it was just so much better than any other ground transportation that you'd think of. So I got a train ticket for about $70 that went into Harrisburg, and I figured the hour and a half drive from Harrisburg is not as brutal as the 5.5, 6 hour drive with my parents. So I got to the station around, after waiting in the snow for an hour for a cab that I called. I got to the station 10 or 20 minutes before we were supposed to leave. And the entire way there to Harrisburg, it was kind of flurrying softly, and we weren't really near any huge major cities. It was all like trees and white, pure white snow. And it was great to see going around a lake and having so much scenery and so much beauty in front of me that I don't normally get to see on a daily basis. Then going into the train station, meeting my parents, and the ride home was okay, and we ended up talking a little bit, but what worried me is for about a week, we didn't talk about anything. They acted as if I never told them anything, nothing happened. They still called me by my birth name, they used female pronouns. Basically just acting like I hadn't said anything ever. And it worried me about what was going to happen, because we were about to visit my brother on Christmas Day, and that's about 10 hours of visiting time, and I knew something bad was going to happen. I knew that there'd be a huge major explosion if we didn't, and I had asked them a while back, is there going to be a problem if I go see him? Is something going to turn into a huge fight? And I was told no. But apparently that was wrong. We ended up seeing him on Christmas Day. Basically it was a barrage of things like, and I couldn't escape. I couldn't get out of that situation. I was getting yelled at, slurs like faggot, and everything, and nigger, and all the other ones that you could think of that can be thrown out there are. And even though I am Republican myself, they associate me with the liberal cult of communists, that I've been brainwashed and sucked into this, and that I'm obviously, I don't have life experience, so I must be dumb. But to that I mean, I have quite a bit of experience. I don't know how many people can say that, in my family, can say that they've watched friends get kicked out of their homes, drop out of school and never see them again. Or, like me, worked in a children's hospital on a floor with terminal kids and had to basically play with dying kids and talk to their families. I don't think anybody in my family has that kind of experience at all. So, I really don't know what they mean by that. Just because you've been around longer doesn't mean you've had a lot more to deal with. And I really also don't enjoy people assuming that they know what I need or want out of my life. And the fact that I couldn't get away made it a lot worse. I was having serious panic attacks. I was dizzy. Literally, my body was shaking the entire time, and I couldn't speak without a quavering voice. It was horrible to me. Like, all I wanted to do was get out of there and be on my own for a little bit, breathe. And my brother kept pushing me, smiling at times, seeing how I was reacting. And it bothered me. And I told him to stop pushing me, or else, something worse was going to happen. But that didn't really do anything for him. And every time I get in a situation like that, I feel like it's the three of them against me, and I know it may not be. I know in their minds they do this out of love, but the actions that they take and the things they say and the way it makes me feel, it's clearly not manifesting their actual intentions very well. But I don't think they understand that. I don't know how to make them understand that, and I don't know, after telling them all of my reasons before and having lengthy conversations, I don't know what else I can say. I can't keep repeating the same things if they're just not going to listen. I don't know what to do to me. My brother said to me that he doesn't love or respect me. Not tonight, but when we were visiting. And that he doesn't know if he ever wants to have anything to do with me. And my brother, having been my best friend for my entire life, this is a very scary thing. Anyway, after that, I basically refused. I didn't want to go home I didn't want to drive back to Pittsburgh with my parents. I didn't want to have to get in a car and deal with that, even though they said they weren't going to do anything. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were going to not say anything. I mean, they said that about the visit with my brother, and that turned out abysmally. I told them to drop me back off at the hotel we stayed at, and I'd get a room and get a ride from a friend. And they refused to let me out of the car for a while. And it was really bad, and it was really scary, and eventually I got them to turn around and drop me off, and I got the room and they left. And it took about a day, 24 hours or so, give or take, to get back to Pittsburgh. I'm done with this video for now, but that's what happened. My reaction, new events will be coming up shortly. Just needed to give a little update. Thanks, guys.